Alright, so Fantom could have one more move to the downside before we blast off again. I mentioned in my previous video this green zone of support marked by these highs back here, as well as this low. I still believe that this green box is at play, mainly considering that we haven't seen any bottoming formations such as a double bottom or anything on the RSI or the MACD indicating bullish divergence. You can see I've updated this red line to a zone of resistance, previously a zone of support until we broke bearish through it. The reason why I turned this into a zone is because it better fits this trend line down here. You can see that we've had higher touches and lower touches throughout this range. But now you can see we are finding resistance at it since we have broken it as support. Ichimoku cloud is pretty far away, so we definitely have some room to maybe potentially do something like this. I'm not quite convinced that's going to happen. I still think we're going to see a move back down to this green box. If we pull up the EMA ribbon on the daily, you can see that the spread is widening. Right now you can see we're actually finding resistance right below the first EMA line. So I do expect Fantom to find resistance in this range, if anything consolidate before we move back to the upside. But I'm still willing to bet that we're probably going to see this green box one more time before we go back up. If we take a look at the Bitcoin pair for Fantom, you can see we've actually hit our target box. Last time we hit it, we didn't really have to go into it that far like we did back here. When we did, we actually rallied 190%. Pull up the EMA ribbon in the Ichimoku cloud, you can see that the Ichimoku is also very far away from the price action for the Bitcoin pair, so we could definitely see a move upwards. The only problem is that we are widening the spread and we've only touched it once since it's flipped red. So I'm willing to bet we'll see some resistance here and possibly go a little bit deeper into this green box before rallying again. If this green box doesn't hold, we'll likely go down to this one before we make a move back upwards. I feel like if we do move down to this box, it's going to be a very quick buyback, possibly even a wick. So Fantom, at least on the Bitcoin pair, could have potentially set the bottom here. It also depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin tanks and this kind of consolidates, Fantom could easily go down on the USDT pair, which again brings this green box back into play. We go to the 4-hourly chart, and you can see that we're experiencing some resistance in the Ichimoku cloud. This cloud is also lining up with this zone of uptrending resistance, again supporting the idea that we'll probably come back down to this green box. So overall, I think a move like this is still at play. But the only problem with this is we'll be encountering resistance again, and the Ichimoku cloud will become wider. This also depends on the rest of the market. If everything blasts off again, we could easily push through this range. That's all I have for Fantom today. This is not financial advice, and happy trading.